Good morning, everybody. My name is Justin Rogers. We're here at Transwest Truck Trailer RV. Today we're going to be doing another one of our Mercedes Winnebago EKKOs 23B. So this one's going to be a 2026, so it's going to have some of the newest changes and everything that we're going on. But the focus of today's video is mainly going to be why people upgrade from a V van to a Winnebago EKKO. And the main reason for that is interior space and storage. So as most of you know, B vans, unless you add cargo boxes or modify stuff on it, they have no exterior storage. So we're just going to do a quick run through on this one today and focus mainly on the storage and kind of what differentiates it from a B van to the Winnebago EKKO. So starting up front, you're going to have the Mercedes chassis. So the EKKO is going to be on the Mercedes 170 chassis, so you're going to have a lot more length to it, or if you're familiar with the 170 B vans, it'll be that similar floor plan. It'll have a dually in the back. It's going to be all-wheel drive because that's one of the recent changes the Mercedes did. It's going to be powered by a twin-turbo 4-cylinder in there. So you'll have plenty of power for it. It's a little bit more horsepower, a little more torque than the previous turbo V6 that they had in there, but it also eliminated the turbo lag here. So this one's going to be in the beautiful selenite paint job, so you get the color matched. It makes it look a little bit more aggressive and a lot less like an RV. So this is pretty much how we try to order most of our EKKOs, because a lot of people like that clean aesthetic of it. So if we work down the side, we'll start with the first storage compartment up here. So this is going to be on the right side of the door, and it's going to be underneath one of the seats on the inside. So you can see in here they have it carpet lined, and then they have that composite flooring down at the bottom. You can see your inverter, the disconnect for your inverter, and then also where your seat belts will pull up to give you that sideways mounted seat belt on the inside. So this will be the first of many of your storage compartments. With the storage compartments in the EKKO versus, you know, B van and everything, this is all fiberglass body in it. So you're going to have these thick compartment doors with compression latches. So as you turn it, it's going to rotate, and then as you rotate the latch the rest of the way, it's going to suck it in. You do have the seal going around all of the doors, so you'll see that. And then there'll be a little white piece down here to actually pick that door up when it closes, just to make sure it's sealing properly and avoid any of those air gaps in here. So they are cut directly out of the sidewalls to give you the most insulation that you can have. So another difference between the B vans, you'll have steps. So you have the double electric step in here, because with the all-wheel drive chassis, you do have a lot more ground clearance underneath compared to that old four-wheel drive chassis. The door, again, cutouts of the sidewalls, very thick, no windows, so you don't have to worry about it. It is a screen door, so bug screen on the outside, metal screen on the inside. It does have metal in the center, and it does have a little deadbolt lock, so you can get that fresh air if you want, while be able to keep your pets inside and not have to worry about them busting through the thin screen that you have. So next exterior storage compartment, it's going to be on the left side of the entry door. So same thing in here, you're going to have a little composite on the floor. It's going to slide up underneath just a little bit in there. You'll have a vent, so you'll have a little bit more airflow in here, keep anything in here warm from the inside, from that ambient air. And you'll have another vent off to that left side. So again, you can put a little bit more perishable stuff in here, and you don't have to worry about it freezing or getting too cold or too hot or anything like that. Outside, you're going to have some outlets, as well as 12 volt and a 12 volt plug and a coax if you want to have an exterior TV. Next two different things, you're going to have a Truma AquaGo. So this is going to be continuous hot water for the unit. So you can set it to eco mode, you can have it always on, but it's only using propane as you need the hot water, and you're not constantly having to heat that tank. Down below, you're going to have your propane tank. So these are going to be two 20-pound grill tanks in it. If you've ever had a travel trailer or anything, you're going to be very familiar with these. Winnebago chooses to opt in for these because it's much easier to find replacements for them, exchange them, get them filled. You're not limited to just one option of having to go to like an RV fill station or anything like that. Down below, you're going to have a quick connect for that grill. And then you're going to have the part of the main reason people buy EKKOs. So in this back compartment, you're going to have your super large exterior storage. So you'll have ram tracks on all four corners in here. You'll have some tie downs that you can place in different spots anywhere in those ram tracks. You do have a rubber mat in here if you want to just set stuff on that and then take that out and rinse it out. This entire compartment is heated and enclosed. You do have Heat on the left side, intake on there, so you're not creating a positive pressure zone. You have 12-volt plugs on both sides, as well as 110 on both sides, and you do have lights in here as well. So if you're ever fumbling around in here at night, you can still see what's going on. On each of the side doors, you're going to have this molly panel, so you can put up to 50 pounds of gear and latches and clips and everything on each of these doors, and you don't have to worry about that. So it just gets it up out of the floor or anything like that. You can kind of make this compartment however you want. A lot of people put electric bikes in here, bikes, boot warmers, skis, anything like that. It's kind of why people buy these to upgrade from a B van. So a lot of the times, if you have any B vans on our website, they traded them in for EKKOs because they wanted to make that switch. So on the rear of this unit, we'll start with this back storage. So you do have a strut on here as well as a grab handle on the back. So if it's been sitting for a while, it's too hot, it's too cold, you can just open this back one and then reach in and push those ones out in case those seals are just sitting nice and tight. So again, 3 points of access for this rear compartment. On the back of the EKKO, you're gonna have a rear ladder on here. So we have opted most of ours with the luggage rack back there. Most of the space is taken up with solar. So if you wanted to put some stuff up there, you can, but you're gonna block a little bit of the solar. I think for the Mercedes, it's either 525 or 545 watts of solar up there. So plenty of power without having to start the generator or without having to drive down the road to charge the batteries. Down below, you're gonna have your class 3 hitch with a 7-way plug. So the Mercedes chassis can tow up to 5,000 pounds, just depends on how much you load it down. But feel free to make use of that however you need with a small trailer or a small vehicle if you wanna not break down camp every time you need to go somewhere. The last side is just gonna be the same as the other. You're gonna be able to see the molly panel and the storage over here. Up above this is the batwing awning. Right now it's a little too windy to open that up. The batwing awning would start on that left side and it'll spread like a bird's wing or a bat wing all the way around to the clip over here, and has a prop to shed rain in it, and it also has a couple feet that you can put down on the ground. That way you don't have to worry about, you know, light wind, light rain and everything like that compared to your normal patio awning. And it is made out of more of a reflective material, so it'll be significantly cooler underneath it in the summertime compared to like just a normal awning. The next bay in here, you have a little bit of storage, but it's mainly just gonna be your water bay. So freshwater fill up top, outside light here, controls for your water pump, outside shower, your coax and satellite cable inlets, freshwater and winterization valves are in here. You have a furnace vent out here as well, so it's going to keep this compartment nice and heated. You got a couple little hangers, one on the door, 2 on here, your low point drains as well as your fresh tank drains, and then your dump for your gray tank. So I think for the EKKO, it's 51 gallons of gray and then 50 gallons of fresh, or vice versa. This bottom portion of this compartment is all made of plastic, so if you ever get it messy or anything like that, you can rinse it out, and then you can close all of this up. All right. So next to that, you're gonna have the Winnebago, kind of a smart plug for them. So if you have clean power, this will light up green. If you have anything, if there's an open ground or anything like that, or open neutral, this will be a different color, and that shows that you won't have clean power, but it helps you know if you're getting clean power to the coach and just protect it overall. If you need more solar, or if you need to have a little bit of suitcase solar because you're parked under a tree or something, you have the port right there. This is going to be the vent for the furnace. So the furnace is going to be another Truma system. It's called the Truma Vario. That's just going to be a furnace that's controlled from the same panel inside that you control that water heater at. The next compartment on this one's going to be your generator in here. So you do have the Onan 2500 LP generator in here. So this is going to give you an additional way to charge that on top of all the other ways you have. So with this one specifically, you have the secondary alternator, you have solar, you have shore power, and you have a generator. So if you're one that likes to do a lot of like desert camping in the summer or anything, having this generator and being able to bring a couple extra propane tanks in it if you need to run the AC all the time, it's going to be really convenient and give you that peace of mind without having to worry about running out of power during those high use times. So next one here, again, small storage compartment, but it's mainly going to be the home for your whale pump. The whale pump is a water sensing pump, so anytime it has water going down to it from the gray tank or from your shower or for your sink, it'll turn on that pump and then send it back to the gray tank. So your gray tank and your fresh tank are both going to be located under your beds. That way they're inside and enclosed, so you don't have to think about it. So down in here, you're going to have another designated heat vent, but you're also going to have this blue anodized aluminum in here, so it helps keep the heat inside of that compartment. You don't have to worry about it freezing or anything. Up above that, you're going to have a cassette toilet. So big, thick insulated door, rubber gaskets all the way around. It holds 5 gallons. It's got a little suitcase to it, so if you want to go dump it in a toilet, porta potty, in the dump station, anything like that, you don't have to unhook the whole RV. If you need more than 5 gallons, you can buy additional of these. You don't just have to be limited to the one, and then feel free to store them in the back compartment or wherever you need if you need that extra capacity. The next bay is going to be your lithium battery, as well as a few resettable breakers and your main battery connect here. So this one was optioned with the larger 630 amp hour lithium battery and is the generator. So this kind of has like the ultimate power package that you can have from the factory on Winnebagos. Obviously there's some stuff you can do aftermarket, but this is kind of your best setup to have the least amount of concerns from the factory. So with the lithium battery, you can download the app and you can connect directly to that battery. You can see what your usage time is, how long that battery is going to last based on your current usage. When the AC shuts on or turns on, it'll adjust, and then when it shuts back off, it'll adjust, so you know how much you're always pulling and what the time remaining is on the batteries. Okay. So chassis, we'll just cover most of the chassis stuff right here. So the Mercedes chassis for the 2025 model year, you're going to have a couple more creature comforts in here. So you'll have heated steering wheel, a new and updated steering wheel, so the buttons are all more flush. You still get the, you have scroll on a couple of them, but you can still press them if you like that. Automatic headlights and all your different light controls are over here. You're going to have heated and memory seats, so his, hers, or 1, 2, and then 3. A lot of people do it for turning those seats around because the Mercedes chassis are all captain's chairs. You'll have adaptive cruise control on the steering wheel, and you'll all have all your hands-free controls on the steering wheel as well. And these buttons on the bottom of the seat are going to be for all your lumbar and back support options. So you'll be able to get nice and comfortable for those longer trips. All right, so that's pretty much going to cover it for the exterior of the Winnebago EKKO on the Mercedes chassis. So now we're going to go to the inside. So again, the main focus of this one is going to be storage. So while we're going through this, I pulled pretty much everything out of here just so all the storage compartments are empty and you can see what all you have to work with. So we'll start back in the bedroom area just for ease, and then we'll work our way back forward. So in the bedroom area, you're going to have 2 basically twin beds, one on each side, or you'll have an extra long queen bed. So if you flip this over, put it in the center, for all of our taller customers, you can sleep on this sideways, and I think you can fit someone that's like 6'6" in here, because I'm 5'10", and if I'm touching the wall, I still have plenty of room to go to the other side. So it just depends on that. Storage back here. So above each side of the bed, you're going to have a cubby. You do have the felt pads down the bottom, so it's going to help with vibrations. Also, as well as stuff sliding around. So on this left side, you're just going to have the felt pad. You're going to have outlets and stuff over here. You're going to have hinges that help keep that door open, so you're not having to hold it up or hold it open with your head. On this right side, you're going to have a little bit more utility on this side. So there is going to be an outlet over here. There's going to be 12-volt plugs, USB-C, and USB-A. The other little thing that they're going to have here is in the center, there's going to be a little cubby right there, so you can run your cords down through without having to run them over, so you can just get that little bit of extra length. And that middle cushion that we talked about will double as your nightstand. So this is a plastic top portion. So if you have any drinks or anything on it, you don't have to worry about it. And it'll give you a little separation from the other person, depending on that. As far as light and ventilation and stuff, you do have 2 giant bay windows, 1 on each side. So we'll just demo this window because it's the easiest one since we're here. So you do have little struts on there, so you can adjust it and you can lock it in different places. And then you do have screen if you want to leave it open to get the airflow but no bugs. And then for the nighttime, when you want to black this out, you do have the blackout shade here, and that's going to act like that. And in colder weather or really hot weather, you can also use that as another form of insulation, because this is the double paned acrylic. And you can do that so where you have that third air gap there, and it's going to help keep your coach even more comfortable in when it's hot or when it's cold. So storage wise, underneath the beds on each side, you're going to have a drawer that pulls pretty much all the way out. I'm just kind of in the way of it. And then you're going to have a cabinet down here. So there's 2 ways to access this cabinet. You can lift up the bed and you have easier access to the hanging right there. You'll have easier access to your drawer. But then you also have a little hidden compartment back there. So it actually is pretty deep down there. So if you want to do guns, jewelry, passports, if you're going into Canada or down into Mexico or anything like that, you can have that hidden away where you have to know that this bed lifts up to get in there. So feel free to use these however you need. On the opposite side, it's going to be a similar thing. So you're going to have the drawer over there as well. You're going to have the cabinet. And then it's going to lift up as well. So the difference between this side and that side is you have a little bit more of a tray right here. And then underneath that compartment, it's going to be your water pump. So your water pump is located inside the unit. It also has a compartment to get easy access to it. So you're not having to hunt around, disassemble cabinets or anything like that to get to everything. As far as features and functions back here, you're going to have 2 AC vents back here, so you don't have to worry about getting hot. At night, you'll have a curtain if you want to isolate any of the temperature, have a little bit of privacy. It depends on what time of the year you're using it. And on that left side, you're going to have outlets as well as a coax for if you want to put a TV on this back wall back here. All right. So next spot's going to be your bathroom in here. So the Winnebago EKKO has probably the most unique bathroom in here. So right now, this is set up for like toilet mode or anything. So you have the sink, you have a mirror, little Winnebago handle. You have a window that opens up in here. You have power for your sink and everything. You'll also have another little storage spot in here that's going to have separation. If you want to set smaller things or bigger things. And there's also another AC vent directly in here. So again, you're not going to have that hot spot in the summer, and it's going to help keep that whole camper nice and cool. So the unique thing about it is you can pull this and swivel it around, and then it converts to the shower. So when it's converted to the shower, you're going to lose just access to the toilet and the cupboard space. But a lot of our customers like it because it technically blocks off that whole bathroom, and it's not a wet bath anymore. It gives you plenty of space to use this. You'd button snap this so it stays pinned open. Just do that real quick. And that way it just stays pinned open. You're going to have the oxygenic shower in here so you can turn on and off that water, and you're not having to just let it run down the drain, especially if you're one that likes to do off-grid camping. You'll have the shower curtain here just to help protect that door. But most of everything in here is pretty water, I won't say waterproof, but water resistant, so it can go down into the shower and into that drain, and the whale pump sends it to the back. All right. So hidden away here, we're not pulling it out because it's not the purpose of this video, but you're gonna have a very large table that goes in between those 2 couches up top. It does move around, so you can position it depending on how you need it. If someone needs more room or anything like that, or if you want to position it where you have all 4 chairs getting like equal portions of the table, you can do that. Okay, so let's start up higher, Jody. So up above you have a real deep storage, again felt line back there, so stick any seasonal stuff up there, or if you're a taller person you can access a little bit more of it equally. They wanted to eliminate a lot of the dead space here, so you'll have more storage capabilities there. Convection microwave. To the right of this, you're going to have another storage compartment, and this one will have adjustable shelves in it. So feel free to move these however you need. You can slide it up and down. The shelves will push in. That way you don't have to pull the drawer or the shelf out. You can just slide it up and down on it depending on how you need it. And choose the different height items that you need in there. Counter space, so you do have a little bit of counter space here. You're going to have a big, deep sink there with little covers. So don't be afraid to use them for any additional prep space. More residential style sprayer, so it does have the little hose that pulls out. Opening window across from it. And then you're gonna have 3 drawers down below. So we'll pull that out for now. So lots of storage in here. And then this top drawer can actually double as a little bit more counter space. You set it in there and then pin it back there. So kind of an L-shaped prep station if you're going to be in the kitchen for a little bit of time. That way you just have a little bit more space to set stuff. Okay, and then down below the sink, you're going to have access to your water filter and then a very large little cupboard area, especially for the size of this. Because remember, this is only like, I think 24 foot and some inches long. So it's really not much longer than a lot of the B vans. But it's actually shorter than some of the 170 extended vans like you get with like the Airstreams and stuff like that. So convenient there. Switching back across, you're going to have your fridge. So it is a 12-volt compressor fridge. You have lots of door space and then lots of shelves. And then you'll have a little bit smaller of a chest freezer up here. But again, coming from a B van, this is probably 2 to 3 times more storage than you had, unless you had one that was like a designated kitchen floor plan. Up above this, it's going to be your main controls. So you'll have solar controller, temperature. You'll be able to see your temperature in here. You can also see your tank levels, battery levels, and then that other temperature is going to be what the temperature of your tanks currently are. And your generator controls are also going to be in here. So one of the benefits of having it here, you can turn it on, you can just hit start, and it'll start it'll run a few cycles to start that generator instead of you having to continuously hold that button. Another way to turn on and off your inverter is going to be up here, and then once again another large storage spot. So this one's mainly going to be for electronics. You do have 110 power up there. You're going to have USB-C, 12 volt, and USB-A, and there's also a roof access port. So customers that like to add Starlink or any of those roof mounted accessories, they usually will put them up there. That way you're not having to cut any fresh holes in the roof or, you know, compromise the integrity of the unit overall. You can just have the access straight from Winnebago right there. Okay, so up here is going to be one of the reasons why people buy the Mercedes over the Ford. So in the Ford, you're going to have 2 jump seats like similar to the Winnebago Revel. But on the Mercedes, you can have this 2 essentially opposing living seats in there. So this chair is the one that first storage compartment we saw outside. You have the pole for the table that we saw there. And then when this is converted down, you're going to have another little living seat here. So since these are all captain's chairs, you can have 4 people sitting here comfortably, all with their own space and not anybody sitting, you know, side by side, shoulder to shoulder. Because not everybody that buys RVs is a super small person. So the last really large compartment is going to be above the driver's side seating. So you're going to have large storage spot here. We tend to put the insulated blanket up here as well as the Winnebago manuals. But again, I took everything out for the purpose of this video just so you can see how much you have to work with. And they add this aluminum brace here so you can support a little bit more weight in this cabinet without having to think about it. To the right, you're going to have more power. Again, 12 volt, USB-C, USB-A. Nope, those are both USB-C. No, USB-A. And then 110 power. Circling around, you're going to have cubbies on both sides here. So you'll have one over here. It's a little bit lighter in there since they're starting to stick some material in here. We option this one with the entertainment system, so you'll have a TV and soundbar. This will double as your interior speakers. And then off to this right side here, you're gonna have your plugs, HDMI, and then coax for this table. So if you wanted to bring a game system, DVD player, Blu-ray player, anything like that, you would plug it over here, and the wires run back to this TV. Rotating around to the last compartment in here, you're gonna have another storage compartment over here, and it's probably about half the size of the one on the other side, but again, more cabinet space. So one of the big things between B vans and EKKOs, and why we get so many B vans traded in on EKKOs, is just interior storage, exterior storage, and then overall space. So like on a B van, most people will be like a little bit taller than me, and you're touching everything on the ceiling. I have plenty of room. And then the width. So we talked about the width back there, and your sleeping space. So you have the 2 beds back there. This converts into another bed, so you can bring three people pretty comfortably. And if you have a smaller person, you can get the Luna cab bed option, or get one off Amazon or anything like that, and convert the chassis or the cockpit up to a bed as well. So height-wise, the taller people, you can actually sleep pretty tall people here, because it's going to go wall to wall. So if I touch one side of the wall, you can see how much space I have until the other side of it. And again, I'm 5'9", 5'10" on good days, so plenty of room up here, and it'll be the same for the bed back there. But that's going to be pretty much it for all of the storage on the Winnebago EKKO. If you guys have any other questions or want to watch any of our other videos we've done on EKKOs, feel free to contact me at 404-936-6215, or if you prefer email, it's justin.rogers@transwest.com. My name is Justin Rogers, and I'll see you guys in the next video.